Hello to all beautiful people across the globe. My BMS College of Engineering senior, Mr. N.S. Mohan, who is the current Managing Director and Group CEO of Suprajit Engineering Limited, told a very interesting and thought provoking saying. In an automobile, there is a rear view mirror which is small, and there is a windscreen which is large. He told you need to have a perspective as what's happening behind you and besides you. At the same time, your focus should be on the windscreen, meaning you need to have a clear path ahead. Similarly, I believe all the OEMs, supply chain partners, even for that matter, individuals who are working for various organizations need to have a clear focus on the path to the future. Hence, it is required to upskill, to establish better processes so as to be competitive and establish better products to solve real life problems. I am Ravi Prakash Shankara Narayana. Everybody calls me Ravi. I am the founder and CEO of Aditya Innovations. Aditya Innovations is formed to address these challenges. I'm a mechanical engineer from BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore, and I'm an MTech topper from Government Tool Room and Training Center, Bangalore. Having 25 plus years of industry experience, I have worked for top companies like Hero MotoCorp Limited, Deming Award Company, TVS Sundaram Clayton, Delphi Automotive. I have worked for the Engineering and Industrial Services wing of TCS and Infosys. I am a Six Sigma Master Black Belt, ISO 9001 QMS Lead Auditor from DNVGL, Global Career Counselor from University of California, Los Angeles. We have four business wings. One, Smart Move, which offers supplier performance optimization. Two, Vidyapeet, offering in-house and supplier training. Three, Avishkar, offering innovation services. And fourth, Genius Path, offering career counseling. Today, I'll be giving you a flavor of our training wing, which is from the perspective of Vidyapeet. Today's topic is about history of Six Sigma, which is a part of the training curriculum. It will be dealt in detail in the actual training. So let's begin. Lean and Six Sigma help you deliver tomorrow's performance today. Aditya Innovations promises you that we change the way you see the world when you engage with us. Today, I'm going to talk about the history of Six Sigma as an initiative from AI Vidyapeet. The quest for quality started in the 18th century. Yes, the first milestone was Mr. Carl Friedrich Gauss, who was a German mathematician and physicist. He came out with the normal distribution curve. It's also called as Gaussian curve. I think by seeing this curve, do you remember something? Yes, it's the bell curve, which is used in your appraisal cycle. Do you remember this now? This will be explained in detail in the class. Today, I'm just going to touch the milestones as a refresher. Next milestone, later in 1920, American physicist, an engineer and a statistician, Mr. Walter Andrew Shewhart, also known as father of statistical quality control, came out with control charts. He told that we need to take corrective action if the data points are outside plus minus 3 sigma or 3 standard deviation. So if you see here, you have a lower control limit and an upper control limit. And these are the data points which is plotted over time. And anything going beyond plus minus 3 sigma, for example, this point, it's an outlier, you need to take action on it. So this was the contribution by Mr. Walter Andrew Sheward. This will be explained in detail in control charts in the class. At the end of the World War II, Japan was totally devastated by bombing. At this time, America appointed General Douglas MacArthur in 1945. Between 1945 and 1952, this was a golden period for Japan, I think, because they had Mr. William Edward Deming, who was an American engineer and a statistician who was brought by General Douglas MacArthur from America for helping him in the reconstruction of Japan. Mr. William Edward Deming is also called as the quality guru. He championed the work of Mr. Walter Sheward, and he conducted lots of sessions, and he trained hundreds of engineers, managers, and scholars in SPC and concepts of quality. He also trained the top management, including the top Japanese industrialists like Akio Morita-san, the co-founder of Sony Corp. Deming's message to Japan's chief executives was that to improve quality will definitely reduce expenses and also increase productivity and market share. Perhaps there was one instance where he gave a lot of lectures at Mount Hakone Conference Center in August 1950. This helped a lot of companies. Because of Deming's contribution, it opened the field to a new breed of innovators with a name like Sony, Honda, Toyota, and Panasonic. They applied his techniques widely and experienced great level of quality and productivity. I would like to give you a homework. Please go and Google for Ford Mazda case study. You'll be surprised how Mazda did well compared to Ford because of Deming's work. So take advantage of studying the Ford Mazda case study. Now, because of Deming's work, Deming was given a big royalties, but Deming declined all the royalties from the transcripts of his lectures and contribution to Japan's economy. So, JUICE Board of Directors established the prestigious Deming Prize to repay him for his friendship and kindness. Within Japan, the Deming Prize continues to exert considerable influence on the disciplines of quality control. So in 1954, Mr. Joseph Moses Juran was invited by JUICE. Juran was talking about the quality management principles. He came out with a new philosophy called Big Q. Here, all the quality professionals, inspectors, they were actually moved to the management level, which helped improve the productivity, reduce defects in the industry. So these are the three people who really helped in Japan's reconstruction. I hope this was a very inspiring story. And if you see Ford Mazda case study, then you'll understand how Japan overtook America in terms of quality and in terms of reducing the inefficiencies in the system. After this, in 1960, Professor Kaoru Ishikawa came out with the cause and effect diagram. This resembles a fishbone, hence it's called a fishbone diagram or a Ishikawa diagram. Here you can see if you have an effect, you can come out with the causes for each of the M's. There are 6 M's: man, machine, material, methods, measurement, and mother nature or environment. So when you identify different causes under each category, then finally you come out with the root cause for a particular effect or a problem. This was a brilliant contribution from Kaoru Ishikawa. After this, now let's see how Six Sigma was invented. The term Six Sigma was coined by Mr. Bill Smith, who's called the father of Six Sigma, in 1986. Mr. Bob Galvin, who was the chairman of Motorola, he made it official in the company. And in fact, there's one more person who's very important, Mr. Michael J. Harry, who was a colleague of Mr. Bill Smith, who was responsible for coming out with the Six Sigma methodology for Motorola. In 1987, Michael Harry was inspired by Eastern martial arts and he applied the belt target. He came out with the yellow belt, green belt, black belt, and master black belt. That's how the origin of belts came into picture. In 1990, Michael Harry came out with a new company called Six Sigma Academy. One of the clients was Lawrence Bossidy, usually called Larry, who was the CEO of Allied Signal, which is now called Honeywell. So leaders such as Larry and Jack Welch of General Electric Company adapted Six Sigma. These are the two companies who adapted Six Sigma at the early stage. There is a rumor that Larry and Jack were playing golf one day and Jack bet Larry that he could implement Six Sigma faster and with greater results at GE than Larry did at Allied Signal. The result speaks for themselves. Motorola documented more than $16 billion savings as a result of Six Sigma adoption. GE saved $12 billion over 5 years and added $1 to its earnings per share. Honeywell, that is Allied Signal, at that point in time recorded more than $800 million in savings. You will be surprised that GE produces annual benefits of over $2.5 billion across the organization from Six Sigma. The companies witnessed the success of GE, Allied Signal, and Motorola adapting Six Sigma. Many companies from various business verticals started adapting Six Sigma. The verticals can be aerospace, automotive, food and beverages, pharmaceuticals, banking, healthcare, medical devices, consumer durables, you name it, oil and gas. All the verticals have adapted this. The companies shown in this slide is just a subset of the population. So this is a brief of the Six Sigma history, which I wanted to share with you. Hope you enjoyed it. Want to get trained systematically? Engage with Aditya Innovations for in-house and supplier upgradation programs. We provide training with respect to technical, quality, soft skills, and leadership requirements. Sample training programs include Lean Six Sigma Green Belt and Black Belt training, AAG, VDA, FMEA Edition 1 training, design of experiments, 7 QC tools, measurement system analysis, quality function deployment, project management, executive presence for senior leaders. We provide bespoke solutions based on your needs. To get benefited, partner with us. For inquiries, you can write to Ravi Prakash at adityainnovations.com or you can call me at 9711 40306. Thank you.